So, as the title suggests, I am powerless against alcohol, alone, at least. Currently, I am assembling an army of allies to tackle alcohol addiction head on, starting tomorrow morning. I can't do this alone. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried, and I got to 5 months sober and I still couldn't do it. And that is because I didn't have the community, the network, the support required to battle this thing. Because when you've been addicted to alcohol for 5+ years and you have convinced yourself, and I've no one wants to admit these things, but I'm going to say it right here. I know it's not true. Look, I don't know it's not true. I believe these two statements. And one is that I cannot socialize without alcohol. And the second is that I am incapable of being present in the moment, and most importantly, having fun and laughing without alcohol. Now, I hope that those two statements are not true, but at this very moment, I believe they are. And that is why I continue to drink. Because as human beings, we want to laugh. We need to laugh. We need to be around other people, communicate, and we need to have fun. We need the ability to have fun. We need we have to want to have fun. We have to want to experience new things. But when alcohol is not in my system, I simply don't. I am totally and utterly depressed. I am socially anxious, and being socially anxious will cause isolation, and isolation for too long will cause depression. So it's a vicious cycle, and the only thing that can give you some when you're in the cycle of alcohol addiction, of course, the only thing that can give you some relief is to drink. And so, like I said, I'm assembling my army, and that metaphor has just come to mind, so I thought I'd use it. But basically what's happening is I've been to a doctor recently. I got a prescription for antidepressants. It's not the first time I've got a prescription for antidepressants, but at this point, I mean, even after having 5 months of sobriety, I was feeling depressed. I wasn't laughing. I wasn't having fun. I was sort of waking up. I was feeling drained and depressed, and just showing up and faking it, And so I just wanted 1 day's worth of relief from that. And so I bought a bottle of alcohol, and that has turned into 4.5 months of an absolute major relapse. Major. It hasn't all been bad. The times I've had whilst under the influence of alcohol have been fun. They've been genuinely fun. I just would have loved to be able to enjoy them and appreciate them sober, but that's just not the way it's been over the last 4.5 months. So I went to the doctor today. I said, I need help. I said, I don't have a GP, I don't have a network, I'm in Townsville, haven't been here for too long, but I intend on staying. What would you recommend? I'm 5 years into a major alcohol addiction. I am desperate to quit. I haven't been able to do it on my own. That's why I'm here. And he did what doctors do, I suppose. We're all scared of going to the doctor. We're scared of, especially sitting down for the first time with the GP and, you know, trying to explain things. I can't think straight to fucking save myself at the moment. But basically, to cut a long story short, he has referred me to the local alcohol and other drugs treatment / counselling service here in town, and they will be calling me tomorrow. But I'm going to take the initiative, be proactive, and actually head there tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. So each weekday, from what I believe, at 9 o'clock and at 1 o'clock, they have intakes. You self-present, you walk in, and you don't need a referral. I didn't need a referral, but I guess it's just the way that it's worked out. So I got my referral. I'm going to walk in there. They will have received it. They'll know who I am, at least. They'll know a little bit of history from what I told the doctor. But 9 o'clock tomorrow morning will be my opportunity to sit down with an alcohol specific counsellor or caseworker. I will get someone to work with me specifically, and we can go from there. Tomorrow is the day that I am once again, I mean, I've told myself this daily, if not daily, probably every third or fourth day, that tomorrow is going to be the day. And we continue to do that. There's going to be people watching this video in this exact situation. But if you keep doing what you've been doing and it hasn't worked, you got to try something else. And so this is what I'm doing. So number one, I'm going to head down to the local alcohol addiction service and tell them that this is the day that I intend on quitting. I am desperate to quit. I don't have many friends. I don't have a community. I need help. What are your recommendations? And I don't believe that an inpatient rehab spot would be available immediately, but if they said it was, then I have to make that decision to either jump on that or try and do it myself. Now they could either offer counselling, they could offer some sort of medication to help through the first 2-3 days of withdrawal. I've got through the first 2 or 3 days of withdrawal. I'm not terribly worried about having a seizure, or having any serious medical complications through that initial withdrawal period, because I have done it many times before, but I haven't done it over the last 4.5 months. I might have had I did have a week off, but since making my last video I haven't had a day off, and I haven't drunk any less than 22-23 standard drinks in a day. So as well as that, there's a local AA meeting at 12 midday, which I intend on going to because I have to, not because I want to, not because I believe it's necessary, but it's because I have to. I have to try something different. I can't continue doing the same shit because it hasn't worked. So we've got a meeting at 9 o'clock, we've got a meeting at 12. As well as that, from the doctor I got a referral for some blood tests just to see where my markers are at. The last set of blood tests I got done over 18 months ago, I think. really fuzzy, man. It's really fuzzy. My whole life's been fuzzy. My memory is absolutely fucked. It's embarrassing. I can't remember anything. And it's because I had 16 years of chronic weed addiction, and now I've had 5 years of chronic alcohol addiction. And all that's done to my brain is fuck it completely. It's really frustrating. It's really worrying. And so anyway, I've got a blood test tomorrow morning. I'll get that done. And as well as that, I've got a prescription for a medication similar to naltrexone, but I believe this one is a new type. It's called acamprosate, and it's designed to reduce cravings. So the doctor heard my story. He sent a referral through to the alcohol and other drug treatment program. He gave me a prescription for that medication, which I'll get filled tomorrow, and he gave me a referral for some bloods. So that's that. As well as that, I have got a prescription for some antidepressants, because I know that yes, there's going to be a pink cloud, yes, I'm going to fucking fall right off of it, and then I'm just going to be left with my own brain, my own emotions, and the inability to want to socialize or to have fun, which is a life that no one wants to live. So I need to do something different, and so I've got a prescription of antidepressants, and I will be starting those as soon as I commit to not drinking, because I know there's absolutely no point in taking them until that happens. Now, I got that prescription over a month ago, but I haven't really used it. I took a couple of tablets, then I stopped because I realized I wasn't ready to quit drinking. So I had to be real with myself and thought, fuck it, I'll keep these here. There's been times where I've convinced myself, no, you don't need them, just stop alcohol, but I've had 3 months off, I've had 5 months off over the last 2 or 3 years, and each and every time I'll sit there and think, yes, I'm off of alcohol, but I'm still depressed, bro. What's missing? What's missing? Is my brain broken? Have I just not given it enough time sober to switch back on? And that's probably the truth, but if I can just have a little bit of help getting there, I'll take it. So I've got that as well. And that is my army of allies that I have got and that I will endeavour to use. A medication similar to naltrexone to reduce, if not remove, cravings. Some blood tests to see where I'm at, to give me peace of mind and to give to whoever may be facilitating a detox. I've got my appointment at 9 o'clock tomorrow with the alcohol and other drugs team, and I have a AA meeting at 12, and my antidepressants. And with all of that combined, I'm going to give it my absolute best shot, my best effort. I'm going to commit. Tomorrow is the day. I know making a video prior is something I've done many times, and you guys just haven't seen them. And it's a good thing I didn't put them up, because I'd be a laughing stock by now, and no one really wants that. So one positive, even though I was drinking throughout, was finally took my kids back home to New Zealand. I was drunk when I booked the tickets. I was drinking alcohol throughout the entire holiday, but my kids have experienced international travel. They've travelled and met my family. They had a ball. It's just sad that I couldn't be completely present, because my mind was always focused on where or how or when I was going to get my next drink. But I did my best. And now I need to work and build that bank balance back up, because it ain't cheap traveling, especially with a family of 4. So that is definitely a positive. Lots of photos, lots of memories, even though mine are slightly fuzzy. But that was something that I'd wanted to happen for a very long time. The girls didn't have passports, Miffy didn't have a passport. It was just too much of a mission, until I started drinking again after that 5-month stint of sobriety. And then I started, funnily enough, paying debts that I was putting off. I booked these tickets that I was putting off. And initially, during those first couple of weeks of drinking, it was great. You know, I was doing all these things that I couldn't quite get my, wrap my mind around doing, because they were going to cost too much, or it's just too much of a hassle. And I was doing that and getting that done, and then I thought, right, okay, 2 weeks in, now I'm going to quit. 3 weeks in, now I'm going to quit. 3 months in, now I'm going to quit. Now I have to quit. 4.5 months in, now I really have to quit. And I'm going to quit. With some help. Because I can't do this alone. I don't want to do it alone anymore. I'm going to welcome whatever help I can get. And continue to share my story. Thank you for watching, and I will report back sometime tomorrow.